Hello, everyone. The story of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continues to capture our attention. Their relationship is often seen as a fairy tale romance. But when we take a closer look, it's clear there's more to the story. What seemed like a beautiful love story is now coming across as something planned with a purpose. As we dig deeper, their intentions become clearer. Let's take a look at the timeline. Prince Harry, once known for his carefree and charming nature, went from dating a relatively unknown American actress to planning a wedding in no time. Meghan Markle's rise from a TV actress to global fame happened quickly. Was it all a coincidence? Or was Harry's rush to marry driven by more than just love? When you compare this to Prince William and Kate, the difference is striking. Their relationship was carefully planned, showing the true art of royal preparation. William made sure that Kate was prepared for the important role she would one day take on, allowing her to grow into it with grace and poise. Their steady, thoughtful approach showed real love and respect for each other, which is a sharp contrast to the rushed spectacle of Harry and Meghan's engagement. Meghan, on the other hand, seems to have focused on the optics. Her Netflix documentary, marketed as a behind-the-scenes look into their lives, is a perfect example. Take the supposedly casual proposal over dinner. It was staged down to the smallest detail, from the lighting to the camera angles. This makes you wonder, was it really love? Or was it more of a rehearsed performance meant to pull on our heartstrings and build their brand? Even Prince William had concerns about Meghan's readiness for royal life, noticing warning signs that others might have missed. His protective instincts were brushed off as interference, but in hindsight, it's clear his judgment was spot on. Meghan's rise wasn't about joining the royal family. It was about drawing attention to herself. The aftermath of this union has been revealing. Harry, once adored for his charm and wit, has transformed into a shadow of his former self. The fun-loving prince we once knew is now a man who seems constantly upset and disillusioned. His once close relationship with his brother William has now crumbled, leading to estrangement. A heartbreaking result many believe is tied to Meghan's influence. Meghan's ambition is clear in everything she does. Her shift from a supporting role on Suits to grabbing global attention as a duchess shows her skill at self-promotion, which is impossible to overlook. But where's the substance? While Kate spent years earning public respect and admiration through hard work and dedication, Meghan's approach seems more like that of a social media influencer, seeking quick wins and flashy headlines. Take the glaring difference in how they responded to the pandemic. When it hit, William and Kate were steady, offering stability and support to others. While the NHS worked tirelessly to uplift the nation's morale, Harry and Meghan carefully staged public appearances, ensuring cameras captured their every move. Critics have labeled them disaster tourists, more focused on publicity than making a real difference. Then there's the matter of family dynamics. Meghan's apparent disregard for royal traditions has deepened the divide within the family. Her claims of hardship, often inconsistent and exaggerated, overshadow the reality of her privileged life. The constant need to shape the narrative and paint herself as a misunderstood outsider comes across as manipulative. Her well-documented tendency to play the victim contrasts sharply with the power she holds. From allegations of bullying staff to distancing Harry from his family, her actions suggest a deliberate effort to control the situation. The image of a strong, independent woman she promotes feels increasingly hollow. Meghan's carefully crafted image contrasts sharply with the reality of her divisive behavior. Meanwhile, Harry's transformation is just as troubling. Once known for his warmth and approachability, he now appears distant and resentful. his public appearances lack the authenticity that once made him so relatable. It's as if the very qualities that endeared him to the public have been replaced by a scripted, media-driven persona. Through it all, the royal family has shown remarkable resilience. Catherine, in particular, shines as a symbol of hope and stability. Her ability to rise above the drama and remain dedicated to her duties speaks volumes about her character. She embodies dignity and humility, qualities that seem lost on Harry and Meghan. Even Queen Camilla, who faced significant challenges in her journey into the royal family, has shown patience and commitment. Her path, though not without controversy, is a testament to the fact that respect and trust are earned over time, not demanded. As the Sussexes continue their pursuit of relevance, the public grows increasingly weary of their theatrics. Their constant need for attention and validation starkly contrasts with the quiet dignity of William and Catherine. The Waleses have shown that true leadership isn't about grandstanding or self-promotion. It's about service, integrity, and genuine connection. This situation serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of prioritizing image over substance. While Harry and Meghan may have once captured the world's attention, their actions have left a lasting impact on the royal family and its legacy. The divide they've created is a powerful reminder of the importance of unity, tradition, and selflessness, values that the working royals continue to uphold despite ongoing challenges. When it comes to Harry and Meghan, they seem to have an uncanny ability to keep themselves in the headlines, not through meaningful achievements, but through a relentless stream of controversies, self-promotion, and questionable decisions. Their post-royal life has become a study in contradictions, where their supposed desire for privacy is overshadowed by their relentless pursuit of public attention. Take their relationship with the media. It's nothing short of perplexing. Harry and Meghan claim to resent press intrusion, yet they continuously sell their personal story to the highest bidder. The multi-million-dollar Netflix deal, the Spotify podcast, the tell-all interviews, every move signals a desperate need to stay in the spotlight. It's a paradox that's hard to ignore. If privacy were truly their goal, wouldn't they have stepped back quietly rather than launching an international media blitz? Their public endeavors also raise questions about sincerity. Meghan's short-lived podcast, Archetypes, was promoted as a platform to uplift women and challenge stereotypes. Yet, instead of fostering meaningful conversations, many episodes drifted into self-congratulatory anecdotes about her own struggles. For someone who promotes empowerment, Meghan's inability to move beyond the victim narrative is striking. It's no surprise that her podcast was abruptly canceled. Audiences can only tolerate so much self-indulgence disguised as activism. Then there's their ongoing tendency to play the victim in nearly every public statement. The Sussexes consistently paint themselves as martyrs in an unjust world. Whether it's the royal family, the British press, or Hollywood critics, they always seem to have an adversary. But this narrative has worn thin. The constant deflection of blame and refusal to take accountability have become defining traits of their public image. How long can this strategy last before the public loses interest entirely? Financial independence has also been a recurring theme in their story. When Harry and Meghan left the royal family, they spoke of standing on their own. Yet their version of independence seems to rely heavily on capitalizing on their royal connections for lucrative deals. From book deals to high-paid speaking engagements, the Sussexes have built a brand that relies entirely on the very institution they claim to reject. Harry's memoir, Spare, is a perfect example, an exercise in public grievance that reportedly earned him millions. It's difficult to see how this aligns with their supposed values of integrity and authenticity. Public perception has also suffered. While they initially attracted sympathy, their credibility has steadily declined. The infamous Oprah interview, filled with vague accusations and half-truths, ultimately did more harm than good. Fact-checking exposed inconsistencies in their claims, leading to widespread skepticism. Their inability to maintain a consistent narrative has become a serious issue, undermining their efforts to gain public trust. Then there's their environmental advocacy. The Sussexes present themselves as champions of sustainability, urging others to reduce their carbon footprint. Yet their actions often contradict their words, frequent private jet travel being one of the most glaring examples. From private jet flights to lavish vacations, the hypocrisy is hard to ignore. Their carefully crafted image as eco-warriors feels more like a PR strategy aimed at a socially conscious audience rather than a genuine commitment to sustainability. The glaring contradictions in their behavior make it difficult to take their advocacy seriously. Another intriguing aspect is their relationship with celebrity culture. Meghan's foray into Hollywood has received mixed reactions, with many questioning her true intentions. Her shift from royal duties to red carpet events and award ceremonies seems less about philanthropy and more about maintaining relevance in elite circles. Harry, once admired for his down-to-earth charm, now seems increasingly out of place in the celebrity world, often overshadowed by Meghan's ambitions. Their attempt to blend Hollywood glamour with royal prestige has resulted in a brand that feels disjointed and forced. Their philanthropic efforts have also raised eyebrows. While charity is a noble pursuit, the Sussexes' approach often appears performative. Their Archewell Foundation, despite grand promises, has struggled to produce tangible results. High-profile announcements are rarely followed by meaningful action, leading critics to question their true commitment. For a couple that frequently speaks about making a difference, their track record remains underwhelming. The impact on their personal lives is just as significant. Harry's estrangement from his family has become a constant theme, with Meghan often viewed as the driving force behind the divide. Their repeated decision to air grievances in public has only deepened the rift, making the possibility of reconciliation seem more distant than ever. Harry's once unbreakable bond with his brother William now appears beyond repair. The emotional toll of this fractured relationship is undeniable, even for those critical of his choices. Their approach to parenting has also sparked debate. While they fiercely protect their children's privacy, they have no hesitation in leveraging their family image for lucrative media deals. The contradiction is glaring. On one hand, they demand discretion for their children, yet on the other, they willingly share intimate details about their lives for profit. It's a delicate balance they have yet to master, leaving them open to criticism from both sides. No discussion of Harry and Meghan is complete without addressing their relationship dynamics. Meghan's influence over Harry is evident in nearly every aspect of their public life, from career moves to media appearances. Her imprint is unmistakable. While partnerships naturally involve compromise, the extent of Harry's transformation raises questions about the balance of power in their marriage. Harry's transformation from a beloved royal to a polarizing public figure suggests that Meghan's ambitions have often taken priority over his personal identity. As the Sussexes continue to navigate their post-royal life, their challenges only seem to grow. Their efforts to establish a unique brand have seen mixed success, largely hindered by their inability to move past their grievances with the royal family. Instead of creating a legacy built on meaningful contributions, they risk being remembered as a cautionary tale, a reminder of what happens when ambition and entitlement overshadow humility and service. Ultimately, Harry and Meghan's story offers a fascinating case study in modern celebrity culture. Their transition from royalty to Hollywood has been anything but smooth, marred by controversies and missteps. While their intentions may have been noble at some point, their actions tell a different story, one driven by opportunism, self-interest, and an unrelenting need for relevance. Whether they can change the narrative remains to be seen. For now, their narrative is one of unfulfilled potential and squandered goodwill. As I reflect on the ongoing spectacle that is the Harry and Meghan saga, I can't help but marvel at how two individuals have turned what was once a royal fairy tale into a soap opera ripe for primetime ridicule. The Sussexes, who were once poised to modernize the monarchy and inspire a new generation, have instead solidified their legacy as the reigning monarchs of self-pity and contradiction. Watching their descent into caricatures of themselves is both frustrating and fascinating. Let's begin with Harry, the once beloved spare, whose charm and relatability won over millions. How did this cheeky, affable prince transform into a bitter, self-absorbed figure whose every move screams discontent? It's as though Harry has made it his life's mission to air every grievance he's ever had, no matter how petty or unfounded. His memoir, Spare, serves as a prime example of this downward spiral. Its tone so self-indulgent and poorly thought out that it reads more like Spare reads more like the diary of a disgruntled teenager than the reflections of a grown man. In it, Harry recounts tales of sibling rivalries, frosty stares, and perceived slights. Stories that seem almost laughable when placed against the backdrop of his privileged upbringing. The fact that he genuinely believes the world needs to hear about his frostbitten anatomy or the infamous spat over a dog bowl speaks volumes about his inability to prioritize. His attempts to portray himself as a victim of an unforgiving institution are further undermined by his own fixation on trivial grievances. Then there's Meghan, the self-styled duchess who seems to believe her life is a modern-day Cinderella story. If Cinderella had swapped her glass slipper for a Netflix deal and a Spotify podcast. Meghan's journey from Hollywood actress to royal. Renegade could have been inspiring, but it often feels painfully contrived. Every move she makes feels calculated, and every word seems rehearsed. Her insistence on being a voice for the voiceless rings hollow when juxtaposed with her blatant disregard for anyone who doesn't fit into her narrative. Take, for example, her now-defunct podcast, Archetypes, marketed as a groundbreaking exploration of the stereotypes women face. It quickly turned into a platform for Meghan to air her own grievances under the guise of empowerment. Each episode felt less like a conversation and more like a therapy session, with Meghan playing both the patient and the therapist. The irony of a woman with a Netflix fortune lamenting her struggles is not lost on me, or, apparently, the public. Meghan's podcast was unceremoniously canceled after just one lackluster season. Their obsession with control goes beyond their personal narratives. It extends to the media as well. Harry and Meghan have made it clear that they despise the press, yet they seem unable to stay out of it. They've mastered the art of courting publicity while simultaneously condemning it. A paradox that would be amusing if it weren't so exhausting. Whether it's a tell-all interview, a glossy magazine cover, or a carefully curated Instagram's post, the Sussexes are never far from the limelight they claim to detest. What's particularly grating is their inability to take responsibility for their own actions. Everything is always someone else's fault. The royal family, the British media, even the public, who apparently failed to appreciate their sacrifices. This relentless blame game has become their brand, and it's as tiresome as it is transparent. It's one thing to call out real injustices, it's another to weaponize victimhood for personal gain. Let's not overlook their financial ventures, which are as ethically questionable as they are profitable. From multi-million-dollar media deals to speaking engagements reportedly worth six figures, Harry and Meghan have built an empire on the very institution they claim to disdain. Their insistence on keeping their royal titles while simultaneously criticizing the monarchy is a masterclass in hypocrisy. If they truly wanted to break free from the institution, they would renounce their titles and forge their own path. But, of course, that would mean giving up the prestige that comes with being Duke and Duchess, a price they are clearly unwilling to pay. Their environmental activism is another area rife with contradictions. They preach sustainability and reducing one's carbon footprint, yet their use of private jets tells a different story. It's hard to take their eco-conscious rhetoric seriously when they're jetting off to luxury destinations at the drop of a hat. Their actions speak louder than their words, and what they're saying is that rules don't apply to them. Some people seem to follow a different set of rules, especially when it comes to charity work. Their approach to philanthropy often feels more like a performance than a heartfelt effort. The Archewell Foundation, for example, has faced criticism for its vague mission statements and a noticeable lack of concrete results. While their donations and initiatives make headlines, the follow-through often falls short. Their charitable work seems less about making a real impact and more about shaping a public image. Perhaps the saddest part of this whole situation is how much it has strained Harry's relationships, especially with his brother, Prince William. Once inseparable, their bond now seems broken beyond repair. With every public criticism and subtle accusation, the distance between them grows, making reconciliation seem less likely. As for Meghan, her standing with the royal family appears permanently fractured. Her original vision of modernizing the monarchy has faded, overshadowed by ongoing tensions and controversies. Meghan's apparent disregard for royal traditions and her struggle, or refusal, to adapt to palace life has often been framed as the monarchy's failure rather than her own unwillingness to adjust. In the end, Harry and Meghan's story feels like a tale of missed opportunities. They had the chance to redefine what it means to be a modern royal, to use their influence for meaningful change. Instead, they have become trapped in a cycle of resentment and a relentless need for validation. Their journey serves as a cautionary tale about the risks of pride and the importance of self-awareness. While they continue to capture headlines, it's hard to ignore the growing public fatigue. Their constant pursuit of attention, coupled with a reluctance to take responsibility, has pushed away even some of their most loyal supporters. As their credibility fades, so does their relevance, a reality they may not be ready to face. In a world that increasingly values authenticity, Harry and Meghan's carefully crafted public image feels out of step. What began as a story, filled with promise and potential, has become a reminder of what happens when ambition overshadows integrity. As they move forward, one can only hope they find the humility and self-awareness needed to repair their legacy. Until then, they remain an example of how unchecked ego and fleeting fame can reshape a once inspiring narrative.